Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Beyond the Gates Season 2, Episode 12. Before we begin, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you can know whenever I post. All right, so we start off the episode where we ended it with Jacob giving the toast to the girls and, just, grateful that they're negative. So everyone goes their separate ways. We see Jacob, Naomi, and Chelsea are sitting down at the little couch thingy, and Jacob is trying to tell him a story, but the girls really aren't paying attention. Um, Naomi, what's it called? Chelsea is bored because she's just like, this is boring, X, Y, and Z. She hopes that Haley and her mom will get into it so it can liven things up. Okay. So then we see that when they like broke up and went their separate ways, Danny went to go order some more champagne. Bill is just, looking, and Haley wants to leave, but Bill is just like, oh yeah, no, not right now, um I'm, let's, stay or whatever. So he walks up to Danny and he tells her that, he's happy that they're happy that everything's turned out well for the girls, and now she just needs to focus on her, and that he's there for her for whatever she needs. And Haley walks up and was just like, yeah, the both of us, we may have had our differences, but we are both here for you or whatever. So let's see. What else shows up? Oh yeah. So Danny thanks Bill and Haley for being there and whatever. And then so Haley is just like, so where's your husband? And that's when Andre shows up, and they kiss, and then he tells her that he brought her, like, a pastry, one of her favorite pastries from the coffee shop, and she's all happy and, smiling, and then they kiss again or whatever, and Bill is just looking pissed. So Bill's like, I gotta go make a phone call. So he leaves, and Haley runs after him, and then Danny and Andre start laughing. Again, Chelsea was complaining about how she was bored and all this other stuff. So she comes up to, she was just like, I want to, maybe I want to go somewhere else and we can party or whatever. So she goes up to Andre and Danny, and she's telling them, he's telling her, he's happy that everything worked out for them, and she's thanking him. And then she tells Danny, she's sorry, she wants to leave. Madison just got out of her conference, so she hopes that it wouldn't be rude for her to leave. And Danny is just like, girl, do you? Like, I've never told you to be anything but you, so do you. So she's happy, she leaves. She says she's gonna go tell her dad that she's leaving or whatever. Oh, before she left, um she tells Danny how Jacob and um Naomi are talking, or top shop talk or whatever. And she was telling how that she was getting a story, and Danny was just like, oh Lord, who's telling order? I was just like, that's a cute nickname for them. I'm gonna start calling them Law and Order. So she let's see. So okay, so Chelsea leaves because, she says she's tired. She wants to be like her mom and not let this feeling that she had on her weigh her down or whatever. Um, we see Jacob and Naomi, Law and Order. We talking, and she wants to go home so they can have some sexy time, and they're kissing, and then Andre and Dan are just like, oh, we have to leave, da 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 da. So they walk out, they leave, and Naomi leaves her phone, so Andre runs out to give it to her. When he leaves, Bill comes up and he was just like alone again, or alone at last, or whatever. And so um, Danny is just like, okay. And she goes to sit down, and Bill sits, like, she sits in the chair that's meant for one, and then Bill sits in the other chair as close to her as possible. And as they sit down, they start to laugh about something, and Andre and Haley walk in or whatever. So they walk in. Um, Haley sits with Bill, Andre sits with Danny, and they're talking. And then um, Haley wants to leave, and she's just like, "Oh, it's a work night. We got to go because of work." And then Bill starts to ask Danny about Anita. So he just like basically ignores his wife. So they start talking about Anita and what she's been doing and how she's feeling. And Danny starts to tell him about, she's preparing for cotillion season and all this other stuff. They start to reminisce on when it was Naomi's time for cotillion, and they're just reminiscing or whatever. And Andre and Haley look uncomfortable, of course. And Haley spills the drink, and she was just like, "Oh my goodness, I have to go get napkins." So she walks away to the bar. And then Andre was just like, "Well, let's, I think on that note, it's time for us to go." And so Danny was just like, "All right, thanks for thanks for offering." And they walk out, and then they leave or whatever. So we see now, let me just tell you, a lot was going on in this episode, so I'm gonna be all over the place. I usually am, but a lot was really going on in this episode. So we see that Haley went to the bar to go and get the napkins or whatever, and Leslie's at the bar getting, drinking or whatever. And she starts to tell her, she's basically telling her that they need to they need to work together to make Bill miserable, because Bill is making her miserable. And whatever her long game is, she's running out of time. And Haley was just like, "Girl, whatever." And she goes to sit back down with Bill, and she wants to go to St. Bart's. And he's just like, um, "That wouldn't be a good time," because he's worried about, whatever. But he really ain't trying to go nowhere with her, basically. Bill and Haley did have a little cute moment earlier in the episode, but it was real quick and real fast because he's worried about Danny at this moment. So, that's how their scene ends. So then we see, let's see, what can we, this was quick. So we see, sorry, we see Shanice is at the hospital. She's talking on the phone, and she's upset because they still have the chocolate ice cream on her counter or whatever. She wants the chocolate ice cream to be gone because, she's thinking about Ted and the whole thing or whatever. So she runs into Kyle, and Kyle was just like, he was just like, "Okay, I'll eat the ice cream." And then Shanice has to leave. She comes back, the ice creams are gone. And she was just like, "Did you eat all of this?" And he was just like, "No, I didn't. The food people came, but I'm glad that I was able to help because I need your help with the doctor." And she was just like, "Oh, so you want to get some more information on Nicole?" And he was just like, "No, I have enough information on Nicole." He talks about the massage, or he talks a little bit about the massage she gave her, and a little bit about Winterfest. And then he was just like, "No, no, no, no. I want information on Dr. Fitzgerald." And Shanice was just like, "Oh, Carlton." And she was just like, "Yeah, you know him? Like, that face is telling me something. Is he an ass?" And she was just like, "Oh, no, 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 no. Y'all have something in common." And then here comes Carlton. So him and Carlton walk off because they have to do a consultation on, like, a patient that they want to, a patient of Kyle's that he wants to refer him to Carlton. So we come back to see them, and they're talking about scheduling the appointment. And Nicole comes in, and Nicole comes in, and she said, Carlton was just like, "Oh, hi," he was like, he introduces Kyle to Nicole, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, no, I know her, we had fun at Winterfest." And Carlton was just like, oh, so you were my stand-in. I was just like, sir. Uh, but Nicole really doesn't say anything. We see Madison talking to Shanice, and she's gushing about her talk that she had, that she just gave, and how it was so fun and all this other stuff. And then Chelsea comes, and Chelsea tells her, she tells them that they're negative and they're excited. And Chelsea tells Madison that she wants to go and celebrate, and she wants them to start at Uptown. And Madison is just like, start? Like, girl, what? So they go to Uptown. As they're at Uptown, Chelsea runs into one of her old pushers, and Madison is wondering, like, who is this? Like, how do y'all know each other? And Chelsea tells her, he used to supply party favors, and he gives her some. And so they discuss it, and Madison is just like, I know you're not really about to take that. And Chelsea was just like, why not? You should take it with me. And Madison is just like, girl, no, are you okay? And it's just like, girl, are you okay? Like, that is a doctor. Like, why would you just want to take some stuff that ain't really, you don't know what's in that stuff? And she's a doctor, like, girl. So Chelsea is just like, so are you gonna take it with me, or are you gonna come and dance with me? And Madison was just like, no, I'm good. So she sits down, and Chelsea takes it, and then she goes to the dance floor and dances. um we see Nicole, she's at the coffee shop. She runs into Andre initially, and they talk about Naomi and Chelsea tested negative, and how um, what's her name? Nate, how Nicole had went on a date at Winterfest or whatever. So then we see her with Vanessa, because she initially went there to meet Vanessa. She meets Vanessa, and they talk about Vanessa's family and how her daughter doesn't want to come home. Not Naomi, Nicole tells her she's a good mom and she's doing everything that she's supposed to be doing, X, Y, and Z. And then they start talking about Nicole's love life, and Vanessa wants to know if she's still going to come with Carlton, or she's coming with Kyle. And Nicole tells her, no, I'm still coming. Like, Carlton is my plus one, but he wants something serious, and I don't think I'm ready for anything serious right now, because again, she just got out of the 20 plus year marriage. So Vanessa gives her a card to the that that place that she be going, the business that she has now, and she says you can get a family discount. And Nicole is just like, you use it that much that you can offer out family discounts? Like, girl, what? Do they have like a punch hole, service? And Vanessa starts talking about, I don't want my business to feel like a nail salon, but the benefits of that. And she starts to talk about it. And Nicole is just like, wait, your business? And she tells her that, yeah, Joey owns it and he gave it to me, so now it's mine, and did it all this other stuff. And Nicole is just like, okay. And it's just like, girl, Vanessa, you about to get yourself caught up doing stuff like this. Like, girl, is you okay? Like, you're not okay. So they leave. Vanessa leaves. Nicole is looking at the car, debating it, and then she goes to the hospital, and that's when she runs into Carlton and Kyle. Before this, we do see what's this girl's name? Vanessa taking pictures of herself with we see her taking pictures of herself to send to Joey, and she runs into what's this lady's name? I'm just so lost. I'm sorry, y'all. She runs into Leslie, and sorry, she runs into Leslie, and Leslie thinks, like, Leslie was just like, oh, Vanessa's taking pictures. I'm so sorry, y'all. Vanessa's taking pictures to send to Joey, and it's like sexy pictures. Leslie runs up on her, not really, but she just comes up behind her, and Vanessa's scared. Vanessa then thanks her for like, she doesn't thank her, but she just like says, it's she's, happy that they're dedicating the clinic in honor of Doug. And Leslie is just like, what? So she goes to see Joey, and she's at his casino. She's making herself a drink. Joey isn't in there. Joey does finally show up, and he's just like, "What did I tell you about? We don't have no more business to talk with each other." He takes the drink away from her, and then she's just like, she says something. She makes a nickname up for Vanessa, and Joey's just like, "I don't like anybody giving Vanessa nicknames." And she was just like, "Okay, I'll do that for Mrs. McBride. I'll compromise and not give her a nickname, but I won't compromise on the name of my clinic." And so Joey basically tells her, "Yeah, no, the clinic's name is going to be the where it's going to be located, that town, wherever it's located, it's going to be the something something outreach program, and a plaque is going to be in the front that says in memory of Doug McBride." And Leslie is just like, and he was just like, "Oh, and Bill is writing up the contract or whatever." And Leslie is just like, "No, I'm not signing anything from Bill or whatever." So then Joey pulls out a flash drive, and she was just like, "What is this?" And so the next scene we see is of her watching the flash drive, and she's clapping, and she was just like, "You should do this better." And da da da. Da. He was just like, "So you want me to blackmail you better? Is that what you said?" And he was just like, "Oh, so you want me to put it out there for everybody?" He was just like, "No, that's a you thing, but how's that working out for you?" And she was just like, "They may have sullied my name before, but I'm getting it. My name is going to be better, and that's why this clinic is going to be called the Leslie Outreach," and all this other stuff. And he was just like, "Girl, okay, when you get that contract from Bill, sign that ish, and keep quiet, because this is what we're naming it." And so he gives her the flash drive, and he was just like, "Just so you can remember." And that's why Leslie goes to the country club, and she's drinking or whatever. What else happens in this episode? I think that was it. Oh yeah, we see Danny at the end. Danny and Andre are at home, and Andre wants Danny to come with him to New York so they can, make it a thing, since he has to go there for business or whatever. And she's just like, she doesn't want to leave because she doesn't want to leave her parents right now. And he's just like, "Okay, I understand. That makes sense." And so we end the episode that way. Oh yeah, we get a new furniture. We get a new a new set. So we see Naomi and Jacob's set. We see Naomi and Jacob said they are in the living room getting it on or whatever. But that was pretty much the episode. A lot happened in this, but not a lot, if that makes sense. Like, like so much, it was so many things going on. It was moving things along, but it was like a lot of stuff going on, like multiple different scenes and stuff. That's why it felt like a lot, but it wasn't really a lot. But yeah, that was the episode. Again, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notifications so you'll know whenever I post. Get down in the comments and let me know what you guys thought of the episodes, and I will see you in the next one. I forgot to mention Vanessa going to the casino, and her and Joey making out, and then she gets a phone call from what she thinks is one of her clients for the escort service. But it turns out to be the client's husband, and he's basically going off on her, and Joey hears it. Joey wants to handle it, but Vanessa says, she got it handled, but Joey looks pissed, like he about to handle some stuff. But again, make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, and turning on your post notification. And I will see you guys in the next one.